So, this video was sponsored by Audible. Audible is the leading provider in selling and producing spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming on the internet, such as digital audiobooks, radio and TV programs, and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. Audible members can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook, and 2 Audible originals that you can't hear anywhere else. I got my free credit upon sign-up with my text GinjaNinja to 500 if you guys catch my cold. And I thought, let's get a Stephen King book, because I watch horror movies, but I want to hear what horror sounds like. I asked a trusted friend which one to get, and he suggested The Path, and boy howdy is that $60. How very nice and wonderful that I got it for the low price of free with my personalized promo code. What a money saver. Also, The Path starts with like 15 minutes of Stephen King explaining he released the book with an extra 400 pages that had to be cut out initially because his editor said he talked too much. He added these pages in for the re-release and then talked for 15 minutes about it. Legend. Absolute legend. So, start listening today with your 30-day Audible free trial. Get your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals for free. Visit audible.com/GinjaNinja or text GinjaNinja to 500. Howdy hey, I'm Ray. And I wanted to update my drawn design. And then I realized I had a few references I hadn't updated in a while. So I thought, why not just draw all my sonas in one picture and just get it over with? And what better to talk about in a video about drawing me than answer assumptions about me? This video is 100% Ray, so it's probably super lame. I asked on YouTube and on Discord what assumptions people had about me. I gathered up the most interesting ones. Let's get right to getting. Assumption number 1, this person said, this is something I've always dealt with myself, which is when you're not doing something productive or with friends, you'll start asking yourself why you're not being productive and stress yourself out. I might be projecting, but I've always assumed this about you. And oh, I am absolutely so guilty of this. It's the reason why I work even when I'm with my friends, and I've invested so much into portable devices so I can work from anywhere, such as my Cintiq or my iPad. But I also usually have a sketchbook with me, or a notebook, or some kind of thing to work on writing scripts on if I can't draw. Plus I have like a million portable charges. I am always prepared. Assumption number 2. I assume that you've broken or sprained your wrist at least once or more from just drawing. I said least, I meant least. Actually, I haven't. I'm not sure if I've just got insane luck or what, but I've never sprained my wrist or gotten carpal tunnel. Maybe my wrist is just so used to drawing every day, so that's why. Maybe I really don't have the faintest idea. I am very grateful though, and I'm sincerely hoping you did not just jinx me. Assumption number 3. I assume you're not one to ever get really sad, even when something bad happens to you. You're just a very happy person. This assumption is absolutely and unequivocally not true. I like being happy. I want to be in positions that make me happy, but I have plenty of things I struggle with emotionally, either within myself or in reaction to situations I'm in. I'm not sure it's possible to be happy all the time for anyone, but even if it were, I'm not sure I'd want that to be me either. Being unhappy sucks, but at least I can take the situation and grow from it, you know? Work towards finding the place where I'll be happiest in my life. Assumption number 4, you had a hella furry phase when you were younger. Oh, you have no idea. I had an anime furry phase. Like, I totally thought that I was a Neko cat girl. Nyah. I wore a bell around my neck in middle school, and I would like chase laser pointers during class. To this day, this reputation follows me. I have distant relatives asking my mom pretty consistently, does she still wear that cat bell? It's crazy embarrassing, and bro, it was peak cringe. Assumption number 5, I think. I assume you have an ungodly sleep schedule. Yes, I do, and I hate it. Ugh. Because I work from home, I don't really need to be up at any particular time, so my sleep schedule is chaotic, and I stay up all night way more often than I should, and it's the worst because I have a really hard time sleeping when it's light outside. So once morning hits, it's like, that's it for me. I'm awake. I'm awake for the whole day. And that also means that I'm incapable of napping, which I have a really hard time explaining to people. They're like, you're so tired, just get some rest. Just go get some rest. And I keep trying to say, dude, I'd love to. I'm trying to tell you I literally cannot. Please stop pushing it. It hurts my feelings. Assumption number 6, I didn't number any of these, I'm just guessing. I assume that you're actually a succubus that runs off of fun times and friends instead of naughty stuff. Who said I can't run off naughty stuff too? Seriously though, you just described an extrovert, so yes, absolutely. I love having my friends come over and just hanging out. It helps that I live with my 2 best friends anyway, so when one of our friends comes over, it's already a party, and I'm living. And if that party includes not being sober, then it's pretty much a guarantee that I'll end up gushing about how much I love and appreciate them at least twice. Assumption number 7. I assume that you're the friend that talks too loud and everyone is constantly telling you to lower your voice or shut up. Sorry. Totally, 100%, yes, this does happen all the time. I am an excitable person, especially when I'm telling stories. If it's a close friend asking me to lower my voice, it's not something that I take offense to though. They're just reminding me that I'm getting carried away, and it's like, oh cool, so sorry, I'll cool it. I'm super flighty, so my friends casually reminding me to do things is more appreciated than anything. Like, I'd rather people just let me know something because they know I'm happy to comply rather than them silently getting annoyed with me because of something that slipped my mind that I didn't mean to upset them with, you know? Assumption number 8, I assume you're the type of girl who makes buddy within a minute. I used to be. I think I've realized that lately I have a harder time talking to new people because I'm so rusty at it now that I spend all day inside working. I gotta work on that. In fact, I'm planning on spending the year after my current lease is up basically living on the road and doing a bunch of new things and meeting a bunch of new people just to get the life experience back that I've been missing out on. I'll still be doing YouTube, of course. That's not me saying I'm like leaving my job or taking a break or anything. I would just be traveling like 24/7 also. Assumption number 9, you have ADD and you have 1,000 thoughts a second, so you speak so fast that no one can understand you. Actually, I have ADHD, but yes. I think and speak so fast sometimes that I can't even understand me. Scripts for my videos are pretty much required so I don't stumble over my words and babble off topic constantly. Assumption number 10, I assume you're the kind of person that never stops moving. Never. Like you're just constantly jumping around and making weird hand movements to emphasize the point. Absolutely true. Fidgeting and talking with my hands are my specialty. In fact, the entire time I've been recording this video, I've been flinging my free hand around as if that's gonna emphasize something. You guys can't even see it. You can't see me do it. Assumption number 11, I used to think you drank 2 or 3 cups of coffee before starting your videos, so whenever I got a notification that was uploaded, I was like, someone hand me a Red Bull. I actually think it's so funny that people think I'm so hyped up on energy drinks when I'm recording, or listening to me feels like pounding coffee. If I'm drinking caffeine, it's only so I can wake up and draw longer, so like right after I wake up, or if it's late at night and I'm not ready to go to bed yet. Otherwise, I use coffee as a pre-workout sometimes, but I don't particularly take a bunch of, or anything, I guess. I don't try to hype myself up to record audio. Assumption number 12, I assume that you're one of those people with a bunch of pillows on your bed because, alas, what is life without your body weight and throw pillows? Not only is my bed, yes, a disastrous mess because it is piled so high with so many blankets and pillows that I never organize because I like to shape the crevices for me to sleep in, but I usually work from my bed, so all those pillows and blankets are also my makeshift desk. I have an actual work desk right next to my bed, I just never use it. Assumption number 13, I think? I assume you're the kind of person in a party singing every song they know without needing to be drunk. I know a drama kid when I see one, you can't hide. Yes, I sing all the time even without parties. But also, I don't party much in the normal sense of going out and partying. If it's a party, it's because we have friends over at my house and we're just drinking at home, or even if I'm not drinking at home, it's pretty normal that I'm just singing and goofing off with my friends all the time anyway. There's no difference. Almost no difference. There's a little bit of a difference. Assumption number 14. Sometimes you just fall. No explanation. You didn't trip over anything. It just happens sometimes. This assumption is scaring me because how the hell do you know that? Like, yes, it's 1,000,000% true. I've got the worst habit of losing my balance out of nowhere. Who are you? How did you find me? How did you see this? Assumption number 14. Did I just say 14? 15? Either way, you wanted to give up on the Roxanne Warriors map. I did want to give up on the Roxanne map, and I did actually have it given up on for a long time. That didn't make any sense. For anyone newer to my channel, a map is a multi-animator project. I've hosted a fair number of maps in my day, and I feel like I've got a pretty good track record, or I had a pretty good track record of getting them done up until Roxanne. Roxanne took a particularly long time to finish. It was easily the most anticipated map I'd ever hosted. And here's the thing. Hosting maps and organizing 30 or so different people isn't easy, ever. I'm used to how frustrating that was. But in particular, someone who I had thought was a close friend had used Roxanne while it was still being made to incite fights through other people. And I don't know, it was a whole situation, but because of what this person did, Roxanne went from being an ordinary map to a deeply personal, a wound, I guess. It started to represent a really bad time in my life because of this friend, and the longer those negative personal feelings festered, the more unwilling I was to deal with the typical problems that came with hosting a map, because it didn't feel worth it, you know? Like, all the stress for a map didn't feel worth it. Because it was so anticipated, though, and because my personal feelings were kept personal, a good chunk of people were really pushy and demanding about it being finished. I only ended up getting it completed because a whole group of friends offered to help me, but I don't know, even when it was done, some people still tried to kick up drama over it. I don't know, I think every participant did a great job, and the whole thing is really, I think it's beautiful, but it's just cursed to me. Ultimately, I'm glad I've decided not to host any more maps since then, but I do still get nostalgic for it sometimes. Assumption number... I'm giving up on numbers. No, we're starting over! Assumption number 1.0. You're the type of person that doesn't get the VIP pass for Disneyland rides because you're cheaper than most. Unequivocally false. I'm the kind of person that would buy the upgrade for all my friends because I care way more about the experience we have than saving a few bucks. For context, I'm pretty sure when they say VIP, they're referring to the fast passes, which are $15 a person. I don't think I'm irresponsible with my money by any means, but I'm not afraid of spending it, especially things that are on the cheaper end like that. I personally feel like $15 for a day-long fast pass at an amusement park is relatively cheap. Assumption number 2.0, you have tons of stuffed animals. I used to. I actually seriously downgraded my collection recently because I'm enjoying having a few things I really care about and like the look of more than just collecting. Pretty much all of the stuffed animals I still have are Pokemon stuffed animals, but of course I also have my Webkins. Next assumption, I'm done numbering, I can't. You changed the pronunciation of the last part of your username to OWO because the original pronunciation is cursed. No, y'all just accept the truth. People keep commenting stop denying the pronunciation, but I can't. I came first. GinjaNinjaOwO was birthed before the trend of ooh, and I refuse to change my brand for your memes, even if I am an OO-ass bitch. Next assumption, I assume that you didn't get bullied a lot in school, because you seem like a person who not only seems to be really friendly, but also doesn't give two shit about others' comments. Because like you said, positive association is a powerful beast, but now that I think about it, I don't think that quote makes sense for the situation, but who cares, let's go with it. I actually did get bullied a good amount. If not directly, then plenty of people indirectly were less than kind to me through high school and middle school. Particularly the people that were my neighbors, my direct neighbors who lived the closest to me were the most likely to harass me in front of other students or follow me home from the bus stop and torment me there. But the weird thing is they were always a lot nicer to me when it was just the neighborhood kids hanging out and school wasn't around. And not saying that I agree that I should have been bullied, because absolutely not, but I know why I was bullied, or I know what their reasoning was, what their weirdo justification was, but I was just a weird kid. You're absolutely right that I tried not to give two shits about what other people thought. I wanted to be unapologetically me. I liked to wear skirts over my jeans back when I wore jeans, and I was the weirdo who drew cats all day, and I wore a cat bell around my neck. And I was loud and definitely a lot more annoying back then. Since the days of being bullied, the only thing I really changed about myself was that I've learned to rein myself in when I'm in public, and I shouldn't be bothering people by being unnecessarily annoying, you know? but I've always believed that it was better to be myself, even if people didn't necessarily like who I was, and even if that meant that they didn't like it enough to harass me. Those people weren't people that I cared to have a friendship with anyway, and I've got some of the best friends in the world now, so absolutely no regrets. Next assumption, I assume you can't balance your social and animation work life well, not trying to sound mean. Yes and no. I'm plenty social with my close friends. I like to fly out and visit the ones who are farther away, and I live with my 2 best friends. We also have a couple of really close friends who we can invite over constantly, and that way it's not like I'm not being social. Like, I am being social pretty constantly, but I have zero balance of my work life and meeting and being social with new people, which I wish I did more often, but that's what next year's for. Next assumption, I assume from your videos that you are an outgoing, kind, successful, beautiful, and energetic person that has a lot of friends, which is the reason that I feel negatively towards you because your personality has everything I would only dream of having. But in the end, I don't stand by my feelings, and overall I think you're a remarkable woman. I want to say thank you, but also it makes me sad to read this. It's both very nice of you to say and very concerning. Please just remember that what you see of me online is only the snippet of myself that I want to put online for everyone to see and judge. And that goes for any other YouTuber. I really try to convey my true self as much as possible, but that doesn't mean that I'm not battling with my own feelings of not being successful enough or feeling like I don't work hard enough or, you know, I've got my own insecurities in my personality and I don't like talking about my struggles or my loneliness or anything online. I'm not living a dream life by any means. I'm still waiting for the best parts of my life to come around. Hope that made sense. Next assumption, please don't hate me for thinking this, but I keep thinking you and Mason are a couple. I don't hate you for thinking that, but Mason is super gay and has a boyfriend. For the record, Chris is also dating someone and so is Rain, so the Ray ships within her friend group are just about 0. Next assumption, you seem like the person who, when they don't have anything to draw on, they'll draw on a napkin. Yes, this is true. It's not often that I don't bring something with me to draw on, but I have in the past, and I'm sure will again in the future, resorted to drawing on napkins. Next assumption, I assume you have a very explosive temper like all gingers. And I don't think so. I don't think I have too much of a temper at all, really. Everyone gets mad sometimes, but I'm way more likely to be sad about something than I am to be mad about something. I don't know if other people have a different view on me for that. I don't know. I don't think so. Next assumption, I assume you'd want to change your YouTube username. Yes and no. GinjaNinjaOwO is a mouthful, and I refuse to tell it to strangers, but that's also partially because I don't like introducing myself by my work or anything like that. I've had ideas for other usernames in the past, but I think at this point I'm just too nostalgic for GinjaNinjaOwO to give it up. It's iconic now, I'm stuck with it. Next assumption, you seem like the kind of person who brings people together, like ties a knot in different friend groups. You also seem very nice. Oh, thank you. And yes, I actually really love it when I introduce my friends to each other, and they also become friends, and we can all hang out comfortably and happily in a big ol' group of friends. It's one of my all-time favorite feelings, honestly. This assumption is correct, yes. Next assumption, I assume that you have very biased opinions. I don't think so. Personally, I like to think if someone's willing to have a calm and candid discussion with me over something, then I'm more than happy to listen and keep my mind open to change. It actually really frustrates me to see people when they get into some sort of heated debate and knowing that because they're both going into this angrily, that neither of them are going to be willing to actually listen to anyone. I don't know, that's one of my pet peeves. Next assumption, I assume you have a favorite design of all time from the things you've created, such as Human Warriors, Monster Warts, or Nuzray. And oh geez, I don't think I could pick an all-time favorite design I've made, but series by series, okay, for Human Warriors, I think I like my Hawk Frost design the most. Nuzray, either Froklin or Fleur is my favorite. Lissy Luck, I think Bee's my favorite design. I like her hair and her dress. It's hard to not pick Felicity because I love her, but I don't want to just point out all my main characters. Monster Wart's my favorite, not picking the main character again, avoiding Frankie, is probably Madalena or Pino. And as for my magical roll designs, Azumi is definitely the favorite one that I designed. I have a bunch of other characters I could go into, but I don't think they're online yet, so. Next assumption, I assume because of your art style that you probably don't watch a lot of anime. If that's true, has there been any animes that you want to watch? That's pretty true. I don't have a lot of time to watch shows, especially not animated ones. Usually when I watch something, it's on the side of my screen while I'm working, and I avoid watching animated shows because if it's animated, then I want to really pay attention and study to it, which means I'd have to stop working. But as far as anime, I've really been wanting to watch Fire Force and Soul Eater, like really badly. They look so pretty. Next assumption, you're the kind of person who brags about being of drinking age but is a total lightweight. Yes, I brag about being a lightweight. It's the best. It saves money, and it's the most calorie-conscious way to drink. Being a lightweight is a good thing, are you kidding? Next assumption, I assume you lean more into dog person traits than cat person. Yes. I'm much more of a dog person because across the board, I love when people or animals show their affection, and in my experience, dogs are way more openly affectionate than cats. Or at the very least, Jenko's way more affectionate than Bella. Next assumption, I assume that you don't struggle with anything in your art since you have so much experience and are so good at it. This is not true in the slightest. I think character art is my strongest suit, and that literally everything else needs work. I mean, my character art I also think needs work, but everything else in my art style I think needs a lot of work, especially my compositions and my backgrounds. Next assumption, I would assume you flirt with your friends at random and laugh it off later, like a friendly flirt. Yes, I flirt with all of my friends 100%. Of course, it is strictly platonic flirting, though. I think I've only ever really flirted with one person with actual intent of gaining romantic interest. It's tragic, honestly. I don't meet enough people. Next assumption, along the same vein. I assume that a lot of people have crushes on you, but you're oblivious and you friend zone them all. I don't think this is true. As far as people I know in real life anyway, it'd be a lot harder to tell online. Most of the people who've had crushes on me, I was well aware of because they were frankly kind of creepy. I don't think too many people have liked me outside of that, but the few times that I'm aware of it happening, I was aware of it, you know? So I wasn't oblivious then. I don't think I'm oblivious, but unless I really am oblivious, but I guess there's no way for me to know that, is there? Next assumption, you seem like an anime protagonist. Yes, true, I'm the Nuzure protagonist. That's totally an anime. Next assumption, I assume you make faces when you draw. This is true. I do this, and I'm gonna have so many wrinkles one day because of it. Next assumption, I assume your friends sometimes get annoyed at you, like in the one scene where you say you kidnap your friends at 3 a.m. just to have company. I'm sorry if this is not a so great assumption. So I'm gonna assume the answer to this is yes. I don't think my friends have ever been annoyed by the picking up at 3 a.m. thing, but I'm sure I've been annoying before. For example, I forget to do my dishes a lot, and I have a tendency to be overexcited and yell, which I'm sure is annoying, but bless Mason and Rain for dealing with me. They just calmly remind me, and I'll do it, and we all carry on. I love them. Mwah. Next assumption, I assume that your voice is several octaves lower than how you speak in your videos. This is true and not true. So, my voice in general goes all over the place. I don't usually notice when my pitch changes because I just do it so often. It's just like a thing for me, I guess. It's a thing that I've always done. When I'm just at home and totally relaxed is when my voice is at its quote-unquote deepest. That's just a vocal thing for anyone as far as I'm aware. Like, the more relaxed you are, it makes your vocal cords lower. They sound lower. That's what my vocal coach taught me, anyway. Next assumption, you're a hopeless romantic. Unfortunately true. Unfortunately, because, again, like I said, I don't meet a lot of people, and I'm not really confident enough for dating apps yet. So, I just write romantic fics about some of my fictional characters, and it's entirely self-serving. Like, it's just to get that excess affectionate feelings out, or even to get excess sad feelings or coping feelings. I write characters doing things to express myself, and then I lock the writing away so nobody ever has to read it because they're probably really bad because I only wrote it for me. Next assumption, I assume you almost always self-insert because you're A, too lazy or busy to think about creating or basing a story around an OC, or B, you're a narcissistic little shout. JK, I love you. The answer to this, geez, what a speed paint to answer this question on. The answer to this is I actually feel pretty weird about drawing myself so much. I know that I'm the star of my Nuzlocke comic, of my main one, because when I started it when I was 16, I thought self-inserts were cool, and now I don't. But now I draw myself so much because it's kind of my brand on my YouTube channel since I don't show my face in every video. In the past, when I liked drawing characters based on me, it was because I was also drawing characters based on my friends, and it was a way to just show them that I loved them and I thought about them all the time. Next assumption, I assume that you're a size where your taller, larger friends can bench press you. And the answer to this is I'm the one who can bench press my friends. I'm the beefy one. Next assumption, you're the kind of person to get way too close to people way too fast and just invite yourself over to other people's houses at ungodly hours. And, yes and no for this. I don't invite myself over to people's houses, but I do absolutely have the worst habit in the world of assuming that I've got a way stronger bond with someone than I actually do, and putting my 120 into them just to realize later that I misread a lot of the relationship, and that, you know, at that point I played myself and I got hurt again, and I've been doing this since middle school, and I'd like for the lesson to finally set in, please. Next assumption, if a friend won't accept money after driving you somewhere, you hide it in their glove box for them to find when they leave. No, I'll shove it into their pocket myself. Or sometimes I will steal my friend's wallet so they can't pay for something and I can cover the bill myself. If I want to pay for something, nobody's gonna stop me. I don't gotta sneak around. Next assumption, you're always asked if you want the kids menu at restaurants. Not always, but it happens often enough, and it's the worst when I'm with my brother because he's 5 years younger than me and well over a foot taller than me, so the waiters always assume that he's older. Next assumption, I assume that you're like part of the LGBT community in some fashion, and also that you're group baby. Both of these are true. I am bisexual and I am the babyist. I like to be taken care of and given head pats. Next assumption, you have a second set of mug pens that you've never told us about. It's a recent mug actually, yes, this is true. I recently found another mug that was dad themed, so I bought it and now it houses the extra Huion pens, while the first one houses my extra Cintiq pens. And if you'd like to get a pen mug, you should totally buy one over here at my merch store, and your support counts so much. Mwah, thank you. Next assumption, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. The answer to this is I am single. Very single. I like slapped my leg for that drum roll. Next assumption, you seem like the kind of person who'd date a monster. Yes, I just want big ol' werewolf to hold me in their big ol' werewolf arms and rock me to sleep and kiss my forehead goodnight. And the final assumption, you base Lily and Lissy Lock off of yourself design-wise. Also, you're the sort of person to have cat ear gaming headsets. If you don't, you should. It would be adorable. Yes, I do have cat ear gaming set. My friend Blue gave it to me after I lost the original pair that I bought myself. And second, for context, Lily is a character that hasn't been formally introduced in my second comic, Lissy Lock, but people who keep up with me on all my social medias have seen her a good few times. Frankly, she is constantly mistaken for me, especially when she isn't colored. Initially, she wasn't based on me at all, but she's so undeniably similar to me, and it's become a joke that she's like my secret self-insert, but it's really more accurate to say that she's my comfort character. When I created her, she was meant to be the polar opposite of her twin sister Felicity, and the polar opposite of Felicity ended up being a lot like me. Plus, when I created the character Lily, she spent so much time with the character Vincent, who is already an artist, that she became a total art hoe with him. So Lily's become like, she's not me, she's not based on me, but she's become like my self-love character. She's everything I could ever hope to be or have one day, with realistic flaws and insecurities still, so I'm not aiming for the impossible. And that's all the assumptions I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a bit of an announcement. I'm looking to hire a couple of animators to work on a freelance project I've been directing. I asked for portfolios on Twitter before, but it turned out that was super hard to keep track of, so we're gonna go with email instead. If you are a 2D frame-by-frame animator who can work in Adobe CC, who can communicate through Discord, if you have the free time to dedicate to freelance work, and if you think you can work in this art style, either as a rough animator, a style-mimicking key animator, or as an in-between animator, then send your portfolio to gingerbudstudio@gmail.com. I'm only looking for a couple people right now, so don't be discouraged if you don't get picked. One of these days, I'll have to hire a lot of people, but it's not that day yet. And don't forget that Audible so kindly sponsored this video. So if you visit audible.com/GinjaNinja or text GinjaNinja to 500-500, you'll get your free Audible trial and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals for free. Or if you'd like to support me another way, recently I am posting more frequently on my Patreon because the videos I've been working on are more ambitious than normal, and as a result, they've taken a lot longer to create. I post my behind the scenes there, and I take art requests. This month, I've been doing Inktober with my patron characters. That's all for $2, but for $10 a month, I'll read your name in the credits, just like this. Thank you so much to my $10 patrons, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Dexter Koch, Chris Daru, Justin Inks, Cutiz, Aiden Strong, Daniel Baton, Kiba Ray, Mamaski, Roxas Prowers, Matsuo Tanuki, Flickers, Belaki, Officially, Shadozers 0615, Key the Queen, Kaisakai, Gabriel, The Lovely Kiara, Blast Head Away, Aki Candy, Ostrich, Hikayan, Silvermane 67, Jakey Jellybean, Muzzfuzz, Ditzy, Kiara Casanati, Star Stevenson, Spooky, T Arctic 1, Florina Fairy, Yuka, Ace No Thanks Hannah, Angel Cakes, Cameron Grace, Doodle Crazy Meg, Ginger Emu, Wilma's Dwarf Art, Sound Alchemy, Archibald Anarchy, Dylan MX, Daddy Dahmer, Malrith, The Messenger, Good Spartan 117, Singing Joe, Ninsku, Dabber the Bard, Hazel Grace, Sock Lady Blue, Mike Unu, TV Island, Free Flight, Firework Cat 25, Cavalry, Kohler 3 Tura, Lilac Witch Kiki, Omar Reyes, Jarn Hunstock, Johnny K, Penumbro, It's-a-me, Mario, Andre, Johnny Stars, Double Anon, Dojo Kid, Dead Times, Troll Killer 254, Stratuswind, Insanity, J-Bay Mayday, DeMonte Prince, Nico Zawa, James Zamora, Ashbeer, Cute Cadaver 18, Midnight Paradise, Crazy Kitsune, East West 333, Zephistus, A Myriad of Stars, Flaming Puppeteer, Maurice, Brian Lee, Skilled Dragon Sylvie, Night Mage 14, Sheriff Yeehaw, Kutiera, Zelphus, Cater, Sinister Stephanie, Jacob Dunham, Ethan Gardner, Fallen Zippo, Millabelle, Chesamoon 18, Stupid Genius, Johnny, Aswick, Arctic Century, Sylveon Dream, Chyler B, Billiam X, Zebulite, She-Sprout, SS Ignidnair, Decaf Hero, Mikaru, Chris Sigma, Sweet S, Fox, Jeremy Readinger, Shell, Failey, Zelos Tukamoto, Antiqua, Nimu Kos, Dust Munchies, Baked Potatoes, Fire Mega Man Zero, The Orc Cafe, Arwen, Russell the Jimmies, Pablo the Wan, Lily Pia, Dosco, Nikos Darcy, Skull Daiquiri, Michael, Caleb Whitman, Emma Joy, Gus Daniels, Andrew Robinson, Fiverr 26, SGH Studios, Too Much Spirit, Stephen Cooper, Jordan Brooks, Shadow Nomorphous, Dakan Akosa, Kaido, Morty LS, Trash Zuma, Lena Swagmaster, Uwu, Daniel Surya, Seth Haynes, Inky, Kurt Coolman, Red Pandacies, Dan Warren, Cookie Brook, Mercy Mayhem, Frenchie the Fry, Jonathan Demoisey, Elmira 503, Coda, Filoso Fox, Lyrathu, Michael McLaughlin, Versuri On, Hikari Yu, Honeybee, Force Raider, Tiny, Give That Frog a Hug, The Scorched Blaze, Swift Chaos, Orion Horizon, Blue, and Kabuki. And finally, special big huge thanks to my especially kind, especially helpful $100 patrons, Angel Hickman, Ryden, Nifty, and Keith Brewer. Angel Hickman has been supporting me for so long, it's actually unreal. My dude, thank you. Ryden I've become acquainted with more recently, and it's come to my attention to let everyone from my patron Discord server know that he is in fact not a bottom. Nifty I recognized from my $10 tier before, and Keith Brewer is a Keith Newer face. I haven't had a chance to get acquainted much with the latter two yet, but it means the world to me that you guys are supporting me this much. Thank you. I hope everyone's having a really good day. I'll see you all next time. Hopefully my bigger uploads will be ready to actually post in the next 2 months. Oh my goodness. Bye!